And with that, we are underway. Looks like we see a couple starts at Sanctuary. All right, everybody's starting at Sanctuary. So we have the small key to Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, not really immediately helpful, but I guess good to have.
Yep, that's the only required Ganon's Tower small key. You only need one because you can get the other one from the mini Helmosaurs. So check that off your list. Don't need to find another one of those.
I think you can even go through Ganon's Tower without any keys. You just have to go down the left side first and grab the one that's under the skull in the hammer room.
You're
and
right.
then get the second one from the, the Helmosaurus. Looks like we've got a flipperless Hooligan here from Furaime to start us off.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that play. Those early rupees really make your early routing consistent, especially in Keysanity. Meanwhile, we did just get a chance to see that there's a small shield on the Lumberjack ledge.
Yeah, I doubt we're gonna see any of these runners go back for that one. Looks like half magic on like Hylia Island. That might be interesting for the runners, depending on how they feel.
Yeah, we may get a chance to see them pick it up. I mean, it's right next to Ice Palace, so we may get a chance to see that comboed into that do a nice Palace play.
Definitely good information to have for Furaime here.
And for me, the first one up to Sahasrala's hut. And Skullwoods being our green pendant today.
There's our first bottle, a small key to Ice Palace, and a piece of heart, so yeah, not too awful.
But that bottle's gonna be pretty nice when they finally go over to Kakariko. Won't need to be searching for a bottle. You can go and check the sick kit immediately once you get over there.
Mm-hmm. We also just saw Raspberryfloof pick up 300 rupees from a chest in Kakariko here, which will be nice for all of our runners, but especially for Furaime, who will be pretty close to Zora money with that.
And so far, our runner's not really finding much of anything yet. It's been a pretty dry run so far. There's another Ganon's Tower small key. There's our big key to Desert Palace.
Alright, that's a good start for the well here. Let's see what else we can find. Big 20. Nothing else.
Yeah, let's see if Furaime finds something in the mini Moldorm cave. Kakariko's not really paying off yet. See if Blindsup changes that.
Gets a nice 8 bomb drop here from the first mini Moldorm he kills. Oh, a sword and a rod and the flippers. And a Hyrule Castle key and a bomb upgrade. That's a pretty good cave.
Yeah, and Blindsup having the hammer and the Moon Pearl as well.
Oh, wow. Well, that's two very important spots, I'd say. Jim grabbing his Moon Pearl as well as Furaime puts those flippers to use, and swims up to the Ice Rod Cave a lot faster than walking without boots.
Yeah, it's much quicker. You can pretty much cut all those corners just by swimming in the water, making it a much quicker check.
Plus, you're kind of safe from all these crazy crabs that do way too much damage.
And Ice Rod Cave just having the map to Ganon's Tower.
A lot of Ganon's Tower items found already. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, but the most important one is still yet to be discovered.
Indeed. Just $5 at the race game. The uncle has a piece of heart for us.
And Misery Mire Small Key for a gem here. So still not much here. Likely get a chance to see what the escape has here with that hammer. It's a really good weapon for going and checking those few chests in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're still all lacking the sword except for Furaime because none of them have been to the mini Moldorm cave yet, but the hammer is pretty much what you're hoping for an early weapon if you can't find anything that's like a sword.
Yeah, it does a lot of damage. It's equal in that to the tempered swords. So a lot of these knights that Gem will be coming across here will be able to be one-shot with that hammer. And there's our
Ooh.
flute.
Alright, so that's an early flute as well. This is turning out to be quite profitable for these guys.
Yeah, I mean, we started out with almost next to nothing going in throughout most of Kakariko, and now the game just kind of exploded and said, here, have all the items.
The only slight problem I could see for Gem at this point is that the flute might lead him away from the mini Moldorm cave, at least for now.
Yeah, and
Which
that
is...
was the power glove as well for Gem.
Yeah, it's working out pretty nicely here. Raspberryfloof not too far behind though.
No, not at all. And you know, we do have our Dark World access already, so not bad for sub 8-minute Dark World access.
That is very true. I mean, they're still missing that sword and that fire rod, but that's not really too awful. Gonna see Gem immediately go and activate his flute here. I wonder if he chooses to... Oh, okay, he's gonna check the back of escape as the first thing. I'm curious to see if he wants to finish up the light world first and then go to the dark world, or if he's immediately gonna go and dip into the dark world.
Yeah, I'll be really interested to see, you know, what happens here. In the past I've seen, the mini Moldorm cave, especially, with the seed even. It's been really profitable. I know a lot of great items can be there. So we'll see if Gem decides to, continue on and check that, or if the Dark World is calling his name.
Sick kid holding a couple explosives, gets one back before Furaime leaves.
And for Amy, just a few rupees off of that Zora money now.
Yeah, and with the early flippers already, it's in the logic, so could be holding something that they might need. I think Furaime will probably be checking escape before going to Zora. There's our swag duck for Gem.
Yeah, I'm a real big fan of finding that early flute. Gives you a lot of great movement throughout the overworld here, and gets you access to a lot of these places much quicker.
Yeah, it's so convenient and so good for overworld movement, as you say. And it looks like Jem is agreeing with what you said, because he's checking the dam here, and I'm gonna assume he's gonna check over on Mini Moldorm Cave after this.
And Raspberryfloof getting their fire rod, their sword, and their flippers out that mini Moldorm cave. And decides to save and quit and gonna forego the ice rod cave for right now.
Yeah, we already know that's a good decision, but it's probably something that might come back to haunt you if you're out of options and you remember back, oh man, I haven't checked that yet. There's a power glove for Deo. He's a little bit ahead of where Furaime is in the escape. All these guys are really surprisingly close.
They really are, and unfortunately, we did see Gem take a death there. Those mini Moldorms. And looks like he got hit by them twice, and then the second one knocked him into the pit, which just took away the rest of his health.
Oh no. Decides to immediately go back though, so good decision on him. Hopefully having a little bit more luck. Once he gets past those guys, he'll find an actual weapon besides the hammer. Not that the fighter sword is that much better.
Yeah, it definitely makes the mini Moldorms just a bit easier to manage if you, at least if you have some sort of sword.
Yeah, it's just that the hammer hitbox, especially if you have to hammer upwards, is terrible. And these guys move so weirdly, and it's kind of hard to judge sometimes. But he makes it through just fine, so no big deal.
And we see Raspberryfloof activating their flute, so we'll see where they decide to go from here. Maybe get a chance to see what the Dark World has for us.
Moving to Link's house might be checking out the Hype Cave.
Yeah, I think we are getting an early Hype Cave check.
Which has been considerably not hype lately.
Yeah, in Keysanity though, it's held some pretty good items. You know, there's a lot of keys, or well, yeah, a lot of keys can be in that location. So I guess it's a bit more hype, but nowhere near what its reputation has kind of been in the past.
Yeah, it's up and down with that cave.
And there's the big key of Misery Mire, so already paying off.
Misery
And
Mire Cave.
yeah, beat me to it. Saying go to Misery Mire, we'll give you your big key and a small key.
I think this is also already the second small key we see from Misery Mire, so yeah, I don't know. Looks we'll have to find out if it's actually needed. Oh, Jim picking up a lamp here at the Waterfall of Wishing.
Yeah, that's a really good find. No dark rooms, fire source. Well, we already had the fire rod, but no dark rooms at least.
Yeah, that's I mean, I absolutely rely on that. I didn't quite catch what he saw up there on the ledge. Apparently nothing that he actually wanted.
Looks like some sort of medallion. I didn't get a chance to see what it was. Or wait, they're saying it was a compass. Thank you, chat. I love you guys. And we get to see the hobo having a map. And that's the Misery Mire map, so we're finding a lot of stuff from Misery Mire already. Meanwhile,
Really? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, meanwhile, Deo is in Skull Woods right now. Haven't seen much of anything in Skull Woods yet.
Interesting choice to go here. I guess with the fire rod, he can get all the way through it. Ooh, hello. Okay. That was already worth it, I guess.
Oh yeah, very worth it. That's our Titan's Mitts for Deo.
Alright, so Skullwood's holding some value. Meanwhile, Furaime checking out their Hype Cave, and Raspberryfloof also making their way up to Skullwoods. Gonna be grabbing their Titan's Mitts.
And interestingly, we did see Deo, after getting the Titan's Mitts, decide to skip out on finishing up Skull Woods. Well, you know, honestly, I don't quite blame him. 4 hearts and green mail, that's gonna be extremely difficult to try to take on Mothula.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to try that. Not with so many quote-unquote easier locations available still. Jam bombing himself there.
So he's having a blast.
So with that Titan's Mitts and the flute, we can now theoretically get to Misery Mire. Deo has also picked up Quake in Thieves Town, it looks like. So if Quake opens up Misery Mire, we can theoretically open it. We can't really get anywhere inside it, but...
Yeah, we can at least get over there and check those few locations. Another thing, we can head up to Death Mountain at least. Check everything on Death Mountain aside from the Hookshot Cave right now as well.
Oh yeah, that's very true.
And
also
Framey
just...
showing...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I apologize. I was just saying, Framey just getting a big 20 out of the digging game.
I was just gonna mention we found out that Eastern Palace and Thieves Town are the 2 Fat Fairy crystals.
And this is a very bold play from Raspberryfloof. They are continuing on to the back of Skull... Oh, never mind. They're taking the death. I think they have a fairy, though.
Yeah, continuing on, that's an interesting choice. I guess there is one more chest to check, so might as well. And even maybe fight Mothula if you're feeling up for it, but... With 2 hearts and green mail and no magic... I'm gonna assume she's gonna check this chest down here and then leave again.
Yeah, it's only fighter sword and no magic right now. It's gonna be really difficult to do much of anything, and that's the mirror.
It's a really good find. So Skull Woods is absolutely stacked today, at least item-wise.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think we saw that Swamp was a crystal. or is it a pendant? Am I just seeing things?
I think it's a pendant, at least according to the tracker. Looks like Jim opting not to check out Skull Woods at first, so he's going to be missing out on the Titansmiths and on the mirror for now.
And Furaime, having the rupees for it, is now going to be going up to see what Zora has for us.
Oh, there's a mushroom I missed that earlier, and a cape from Zora. It could be interesting.
Yeah, that opens up one more location that that we can check. That the first chest in Aghanim's tower is completely open now as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Furaime making that play on Death Mountain now.
Yeah, good choice. As you were mentioning earlier, we can check pretty much everything except for the Hookshot Cave. Well, Furaime can't yet, sadly.
Yeah, unfortunately, they did not pick up their Titansmiths. And the old man showing his love, giving us a piece of heart from for rescuing him.
Yep, just a little bit of love from that guy. Oh, the boots in Spectacle Rock Cave.
Oh, that's a great find.
That's pretty much all the overworld movement that you want. You got the flute, you got the boots, and we're not even half an hour in.
And Deo is making their way over to Palace of Darkness already.
Yeah, they already have 4 keys for Pod, so I can sort of understand that. Just, they need to be careful not to accidentally soft-lock themselves.
And we have the blue mail out of the Bonkrocks location.
Oh, that's a very nice find, because these guys still are kind of lacking in the hearts department, except for Gem. I'm wondering where he picked up all those extra hearts.
You know, I'm not sure. Looks like Deo is pretty much caught up in the heart department, as Gem is now. Find that heart container in Palace of Darkness.
Mm-hmm. Gem picking up his Titansmiths finally. He's leaving. Let's see if he continues on. It looks like he wants to. I would not be surprised if Gem actually decided to give the Mothula fight a try.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, it's got a decent amount of magic, so we can use that fire rod pretty well. 6 hearts is, I mean, it's not terrible, but still can, allow you to just take a couple hits while in that fight.
That was another fairy in a bottle, I believe. Maybe the first one that they have.
Yeah, I think with that fairy in a bottle, Gem may head on over to Mothula. It'll be a pretty, give him a total of 6 hearts, or excuse me, 12 hearts that he'd be able to use to take on Mothula. So we could get a chance to see that here.
Yeah, and picking up that full magic refill there makes me think he's definitely going to give it a shot. Meanwhile, Raspberryfloof heading up Death Mountain, going to be finding their boots, while Deo is entering the dark parts of Pod.
And we see the red boomerang in that left chest. Didn't quite get a chance to see. I don't think anything showed up for that second chest.
No, not that I noticed, at least.
And we do have Gem heading back to Mothula now.
He also has a red potion, which he might opt to use if he feels like it. He's gonna have to use another fire rod shot to kill the last Gib, though, that holds the key here, so he's gonna be pretty short on magic for the Mothula fight.
And we see Deo working on getting that hammer yump set up. Looks like they may have misplaced a bomb, so they're gonna reset it and try it again.
Here we go, Hammer Mothula. 2 hits in already, 2 more to go. There we go.
Very well done.
And a green pendant and another heart container. Looks like Deo making his way through the dark maze in Pod now, successfully jumping over there. And I didn't catch what Furaime saw, but apparently it was something they wanted on the Bumper Ledge Cave. Bumper Cave Ledge.
Oh, it's the bow.
Well, yeah, you'd want that.
Man, I don't know. I don't know if I want the bow. Man, I don't know if I'd want to be able to complete the seed.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just want to keep playing because it's so much fun. There's the Titan's Mitzvah Furaime finally.
And looks like Gem is now going to be seeing what the blacksmith has in store for us today.
Meanwhile, Raspberry is heading into Paradox Cave.
And there's our Turtle Rock Big Key.
Yeah, we don't yet know if we really need it, but it's a good thing to have.
And the rest of Paradox Cave, not really much going on there.
No, a whole lot of love. That's really all there was to it. Alright, Deo on his way to pick up his cape, which that's a pretty good thing to have, I think, especially with that bow location.
Yeah, definitely a nice thing to have. It's a really good safety item, especially later on in the game if you use it for Ganon or the Turtle Rock Laser Bridge should you need to go there. So. And it looks like Raspberryfloof is going to be opening, or at least seeing what is going to be required for Turtle Rock.
Yeah, if you're already up here, might as well open up that warp portal and check it out and find out it's Quake, which you conveniently have.
And Gem also did just find the Cane of Burna on the Graveyard Ledge.
Alright, I think that's all the invulnerability items that we're gonna need. Oh, and Furaime takes a death. I believe they still have their fairy. Yeah, they do. And they picked up a Master Sword and decided that he should be the first one to dip into Agonon's tower here. Oh yeah, dude, our tracker points out that Master Sword must have been one of the items that Deo found in the dark parts of Pod.
Oh yeah, maybe on that that right side chest.
Mm-hmm.
And Framey gets their mirror now.
Decides to not give that Mothula fight a second try. We'll have to see if that green pendant turns out to hold anything of value, but if it does, that's a painful little thing to have to go back to.
Yeah, and Raspberryfloof found the small key to Desert Palace on the floating island up on Death Mountain, so being able to take that small key and check a couple more locations over in the Mire area once they near to Desert. And there is the Cane of Samaria in the Mire Shed.
That is a big find. Immediately gonna head down, pick up those bombs on the ledge here in Desert, and then gonna see what Desert holds for us. For the boots, we can even get the torch item should we need to. And Gem has been walking around with that little lunchbox there for ages.
Yeah, definitely taking it on a massive world tour, so.
There's a Turtle Rock small key on the Desert Torch, so that could become important.
And the Tower of Hera big key in the Desert big key chest. Or the Desert big chest, I should say.
Another pod small key and desert here on the right side. As well as the Swamp Palace big key. That's one of those that could be useful, but you really don't need it to finish the dungeon.
Yeah, the Swamp Palace big key is only really used for one location. That is the big chest in Swamp Palace. All you really need to get to Argus is the hook shot. So and we do have Deo dropping down into the Mothula fight, going to take on the big moth and maybe burn it with some fire.
Yeah, and with the Master Sword, just the extra reach that you have thanks to the bigger sword makes it a little bit more manageable.
Yeah, and Deo's doing a very good job so far.
Furaime picking up another small turtle rock key from the Landmo fight, so that along with the crystal that they're getting, a pretty good haul, I'd say. Deo doing a great job on that Mothula fight, finishes them off without much trouble at all.
And it looks like Furaime is going to. Did they forget a location in desert? Maybe right side?
I'm not sure.
Or oh, I think they went straight to Land Mola, so they need to finish clearing out the rest of the dungeon.
Oh yeah, they did. The little compass item counter is telling us that all they've checked is 1 out of the 6 locations so far.
Very clean Land Mola's fight from Gem as well. Making really good use of that fire rod.
Yeah, very nicely done. It looks like Furaime is missing a Desert Palace small key though, so they can check the right side.
Yeah, I think Raspberryfloof was the only one to go see what was on the floating island on Death Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And the Agonist Cave only having 20 rupees, so let's see where Raspberryfloof decides to go. Where do you think the next play would be?
I'm guessing they're fluting away. I think Tower of Hera could be interesting with the big key that they have.
Oh, that's right. Raspberryfloof decided to skip the Ice Rod Cave earlier, so maybe we'll get to see that Tower of Hera play once they are done here.
Looks like that's also where Furaime is heading. Might also
Yeah.
be checking out Spike Cave. Might be a little early on the hearts count, but they do have a red potion and the cave.
And so far, Tower of Fair just having heart pieces.
Yeah, looks like my call wasn't the best one. Wouldn't be the first time. So, Deo now checking out the Meyer area, going to be picking up his cane of Samaria. Going to see a bomb jump from Furaime here. Nice setup. Skullwood small key, man.
Now, I'll be interested to see if Framey decides to go to Palace of Darkness here pretty soon, having, 3 keys and the bow and the hammer.
Yeah, I think it would definitely be an interesting next choice.
Oh, we do have Gem, who is going into Ice Palace, so it looks like they did go ahead and combo in the half magic into the Ice Palace play.
Yeah, I mean, with the fire rod and everything, I don't blame him. We'll have to see if we can find anything useful in here. Oh, we get a very nice troll door fight from Furaime here.
And Framey does pick up that crystal. Meanwhile, Tower of Fair not really having much of anything aside from that, but still good crystal to get.
Yeah, looks like nothing up here. That tower is only good for a small key that we don't need anymore, and a crystal.
And it looks like Raspberryfloof is going to be making the play onto Tower of Fair as well here. And very nice first try on that bomb jump from Gem.
Yep, very nicely done. The back area here gets a little bit annoying if you don't have the hook shot, but with cane and cape in hand, not really a big deal. Quaking all the Pangators.
Yeah, it's a very nice tactic to use if you don't have the sword power to handle them, or the hook shot to one shot them. Because those Pengators are one of the only enemies that don't really burn when you fire the fire rod at them.
Yeah, for some reason they take 2 hits from the fire rod, and I think that's so weird since they're in the Ice Palace, but yeah, Zelda logic.
And that was a Master Sword for Gem in Ice Palace.
Yeah, that's a 3rd sword, so only 1 sword missing. Dale grabbing his crystal from Desert. Oh, and Raspberryfloof gets knocked off by Trolldorm.
Yeah, Trolldorm strikes again.
Furaime is making their way back up Death Mountain on the Dark World side of things. Gonna be checking out everything here. They also saw that there was a small key on the floating island, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them check out the right side of Desert at some point. Probably not immediately, but whenever they're back there for Meyer, maybe.
Gem is showing off some really impressive bomb jumps here in Ice Palace.
Yeah, doing a great job with the limited resources he has.
And Furaime is going to get that small key to Desert Palace. Let's see if that leads them over to Desert or if they are going to head somewhere else from here. Also, looks like Raspberryfloof is making the play onto Palace of Darkness now, having 5 keys in hand. Be able to check pretty much almost every location here.
Yeah, she can do pretty much everything with the exception of the boss.
Oh, and she hasn't gone to pick up the bow yet, so we won't be able to see what the right side has yet either.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Jim going for the sword beam strats here. Very nicely done. Saves a little bit of magic. Oh, no.
Thankfully, he has a fairy. That fairy is definitely saving them. And oh, Furaime heading into Turtle Rock already. And Deo gets their boots, and the Ether Medallion is what Cold Stare holds today.
Alright, we would theoretically need that to get into Misery Mire. Question is, do we want to get in there?
Well, Gem does need to pick up those boots or find the hook shot first, but yeah, I mean, at this point, there's a lot of locations in Misery Mire where a lot of these items can be hiding, so I don't think it'd be a bad choice to eventually, write that in, should Gem eventually pick up the hookshot or the boots.
Mm-hmm.
And there was another sword in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that's our last sword, so we know where all the sword upgrades are, and I wouldn't really be surprised to see most of our runners end up with Butter Sword at the end here.
Yeah, at this point, it's very likely that that's going to be the case. I think the only way that our runners don't get it is if they can uh, go mode either Turtle Rock or Ice Palace.
Yeah. I think the one in Pod is pretty much on the way, as far as I remember, right? Oh no, it was in one of the dark rooms.
Yeah, I believe it was on the dark room, the right side
Mm-hmm.
chest.
Yeah, we'll have to see. For him, it's down to one small key here. I can grab another one from this pokey. But if they want to check everything, probably they don't.
Yeah, and that's a very common chest to skip in Keysanity. I've seen it, unfortunately, bite a couple runners so far. See if that's going to be the case this time around, though.
Need to be a little careful with their health, but looking good so far. Deo was working on finishing off Troll Dorm. I think one or two more spins should do it. No, there we go.
Yeah, very nice fight for Deo there.
Can you guys still hear us?
Yeah, just bear with us one moment while we work through these technical difficulties. We'll have this race back to you very, very shortly.
Yeah, looks like we're getting everything back here in just a second. There we go. Looks like we found a small key for GT and Turtle Rock here. Sadly, we missed out on what was in Mimic Cave.
Yeah, we do get to see Raspberryfloof is now inside of Eastern Palace.
Yeah, unfortunately not checking that bumper cave ledge. Be pretty nice to be able to finish this off. But I don't have the big key, I'm just noticing, so wouldn't even be able to.
And Furaime is on to the laser bridge now. And there's our big key to Eastern Palace. Speaking of that big key. And Fraime's just gonna save and quit out of there. Does not have the ice rod, so can't really do much of anything else inside of Turtle Rock. Now, if I'm Furaime at this point, I'm probably gonna head over towards Pod and Eastern, having picked up that Eastern Palace key. Or, never mind, probably gonna see Meyer.
Okay.
You know, and it actually does make a lot of sense. It is a dungeon that is 100% completable. So we could just get a chance to not have to double dip the pod area if we can find that big key.
Yeah, that's a very good point that you're making there.
Oh wait, Furaime does not have either. They didn't go to Ice Palace, so looks like they're just going to be checking the right side of Desert. And I think we are going to get a chance to see another play into Turtle Rock from Raspberryfloof.
It's definitely looking like it. Well, nicely done. I thought she was getting trolled by those dead rocks there, but got to squeeze past, thankfully.
Yep, and into Turtle Rock we go. And Furaime is going into Ice Palace, so once they do take down Cold Steel, they will be able to get their Ether Medallion, and Misery Mire at this point would be beatable.
Yeah, it's definitely looking more and more like Misery Mire is the place that they should be going eventually. We found a lot of small keys on the map and all kinds of other stuff from Misery Mire right at the beginning of the seed, so it's been kind of foreshadowed, I guess.
And really quick here, we do want to say thank you to No Denial for the 4.99 sub. Thank you so much for supporting the Speed Gaming Network of channels here and making what we do here a reality and keeping us going. So thank you very much. And while we are also getting a chance to see things we've already seen so far, if you do like what you are seeing here, please make sure to give all these runners a follow for putting in all this hard work and bringing these races to you for your entertainment. Also just want to give just a quick shout out to my fellow co-commentator here, Herfy Durfy, as well as our trackers today, Dude, as well as JT and 2002. Thank you to everybody who has been able to bring this race to you today.
Yeah, thanks from me as well, and of course also thanks to you, Ikas, for co-commentating here with me. It has been a pleasure so far, and I'm sure we're going to see some more exciting things here.
And for me, showing off those bomb strats here in Ice Palace. Those Pangators did not stand a chance.
Oh, 2 bombs and bonk on the right wall, and they're all gone.
And looks like Raspberryfloof did get chain chomped, unfortunately. It's going to go back at it and give it another shot here.
And Gem is also dipping into Turtle Rock, so it looks like everyone is thinking that Turtle Rock holds what they need to further progress into this.
Now, I'll be interested to see if anybody checks that vanilla big key chest. You know, we did see that, I believe it was Furaime decided to skip that. So let's see if that does come back to haunt them.
Looks like Raspberryfloof will be the first one to arrive at that chest. Or at least in the vicinity. So be a little careful here. It's extremely laggy when all the anti-fairies and everything is on screen at the same time and when you're spinning.
And we will get to see what that chest is now. And it's just a compass to Palace of Darkness.
Oh man. Definitely not what you want to see when you're using one of the small keys here for that.
Yeah, so unfortunately that means that Raspberryfloof is going to have to find that 4th Turtle Rock key to be able to complete this dungeon. We did see what was on Laser Bridge. There was the Eastern Palace big key on Laser Bridge.
Oh, and Deo gets lasered here, unfortunately. Speaking of lasers, still has a fairy, thankfully, so not too much of a time loss, but it's still very annoying.
Yeah, it's really easy to accidentally press up and get lasered in that room there.
Both Deo and Raspberry checking out the Mimic Cave here. Raspberry just a little bit ahead. Big key to Ice Palace. Okay, that's what we missed earlier. I wonder if that's gonna make Gem feel a little bit uncomfortable. I
Yeah,
didn't
especially.
quite... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, especially having already been into Ice Palace.
Yeah, I think Furaime must have checked the big chest, because they have the big key and they just finished off Cold Stare. But I didn't quite catch if it had anything of importance.
Alright, we are getting confirmation that Ice Palace big chest was a shield.
So Furaime is the first one to check into Misery Mire here. We're not getting a bird toss, we're getting a bird slash before we cast the spell.
You know, I really do like the play into Misery Mire. You know, in your typical rando, there's only 2 items that can be in here. With Keysanity, uh, there's several more chests in here that can have, you know, items in there because they decided to put a lot of keys in here. You know, in the vanilla game, so a lot of potential for progression to be in here in Keysanity.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a ton of locations to check here. And in Keysanity, in general, just every location is important.
It's really interesting to see 3 of our runners on the laser bridge at the same time.
Yeah. Gem doing a great job here with the laser skips, grabs all the items. I think he only got hit once in all of that.
And Furaime just found another small key to Palace of Darkness. I believe that is all of our Palace of Darkness keys now.
Yeah, that is all 6 keys, so with a bow and the hammer in hand, Furaime will be the first one to actually be able to completely finish it out.
Yep, I think at this point, all we're looking for now for Palace of Darkness is that big key. It's eluded all these runners so far.
Oh yeah, of course. We need that one. I forgot about that one. That's kind of important.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I mean, it only opens one door, right? Can't be that important. Okay, Gem finally picking up his bow. He's probably going to be happy about that. He also just picked up the Eastern Palace big key, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him back there.
Yeah, I'll be able to, you know, combo this routing decision in Eastern Palace. Maybe get a chance to see what's in Palace of Darkness as well.
Yeah, and if he does decide to dip into Palace of Darkness, he'll be grabbing his Butter Sword, most likely. Oh, and are we getting a
Ooh,
dip in the swamp from Raspberry here?
Framey just found the Ice Rod in the Misery Mire big chest.
Oh man, that is really important.
Yeah. So at this point, Turtle Rock is almost completable now for Framey. Well, no, they skipped the big key chest, so they can actually go through and complete Turtle Rock now.
Yeah, if they want to, they can just go back and kill Trinex.
Oh my goodness. The Palace of Darkness big key is in the first chest in Swamp.
Oh man.
That may take the rest of our runners a long time to find.
That is a very trolly spot. Depending on if we see anyone come across a hookshot anytime soon, that is going to be extremely trolly.
And Framey also did pick up the powder, so that opens up another check for us. The Bat Cave is now checkable.
Could also be holding an important item. Alright, Deo is now also in Eastern, has the big key, but unfortunately no bow yet. And it looks like Gem might also be heading into Misery Mire. Nope, heading back into Desert.
And Furaime showing us those damage boosting strats here on Vitreous here.
Yeah, doing a nice job of just finishing them off.
And just 50 rupees and the red pendant. And very nice Ice Palace Bomb Jump from Raspberryfloof. First try there.
Yeah, nicely done. Bonks over the hole and off she goes.
And it appears we have some sync here from Furaime and Gem.
Oh man. The super sync.
Now I'm really curious to see what the remaining chests in Palace of Darkness hold. That's the first time any of our runners have been in here with a bow, so we can see what's on that right side.
Yeah, interestingly, Gem is still missing one small key in theory. He can save one if he hammer jumps, so it wouldn't be a big problem. Of course, they still don't have the big key, so they can't finish it anyways. But we can at least get to all the chests finally.
And Raspberryfloof, the first one to have the butter sword from all of our runners.
So far, still eluding us are the silver arrows, though. I don't think any of our runners here need them, really, but they're still very nice to have.
And I do like the decision to go into Eastern Palace before Palace of Darkness that we're seeing here from Furaime and Gem. Going into a dungeon you can fully complete before heading on into Palace of Darkness. Who knows? They they may be thinking they may find the Palace of Darkness big key somewhere along the way.
Yeah, you never know, and if you already know that you can complete the dungeon, then you might as well just do it. Plus, in this case, it's even crystal for the Pyramid Fairy, so that's another bonus, maybe. Bonus or, I don't know, burden, I guess.
And it looks like Deo is going to be grabbing their half magic, and we'll likely get a chance to see the Ice Palace play from them as well here.
Yep, that's our second player with half magic.
And Raspberryfloof making sure to grab those magic decanters there. They're almost have enough. The two that are right before Cold Stare should be enough to be able to break Cold Stare out of the ice here.
Yep, if you don't have half magic, you need a full magic bar to break Cold Stare's ice shell. And with Butter Sword in hand, the puffs shouldn't be too much of a problem if you can get them trapped in the corner.
Yeah, I should just take a few swings of that Butter Sword to do away with the little puffballs here. And very
There
well
we
done.
go. Over before they even had a chance.
And Furaime about to go and see what the Armos Knights have in store for them today.
And Gem hot on Furaime's heels. Just a room behind here.
Very nice setup on the quick kill here. We'll get to see 2 different quick kills, both equally effective.
Oh, Gem having a little bit of trouble there.
I'm sorry, Gem. I did not mean to curse you there.
And all of that for 10 arrows. Well, we might see a bird toss here from Raspberryfloof. Nope, just goes right into mire.
Yep, just gonna ignore that bird. And Furaime and Gem both heading into Palace of Darkness now.
Just a compass there in the vanilla big key chest. A piece, a hard container even, down in that one. There's a butter sword for Deo.
Yeah, it looks like all of our runners will be getting their butter swords today. Yep, and to answer a question here in chat, all of these runners are on the same seed. You know, when we do race the randomizer, all races that are featured are going to be on the same seed. So Furaime and Deo and Gem and Raspberryfloof will be on the same seed. Now, if there's another race on a different channel, that'll be a completely different seed. But when there's, you know, featured runners, both runners or all 4 runners on the channel will be on the same seed.
We just saw the big key to Ganon's tower here in Pod on the Bowlock side, so that's a pretty good one to find, I'd say.
That's a very nice find.
Gem about to pick his up. There's a small key to Thieves Town, which also opens up the possibility of the Pyramid Fairy at the very end there.
And there is the butter sword for Furaime. Gem about ready to pick theirs up here any moment.
Alright, I think Gem here is going to be setting up for that hammer jump, so we can save the key.
Yeah, and as of right now, I think the only other item that we're really looking for that's going to be required that we know of is the hook shot. Now we don't know if the book is going to be required quite yet to see if there's going to be anything on those tablets. But aside from that, item-wise, looking for the hook shot, and key-wise, we still need to find the Thieves Town big key and potentially the Swamp Palace small key.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're pretty far along already, I'd say. Let's see what else these guys can dig up. I think we're getting a very first pyramid check from Furaime here.
And we could potentially need another early small key for Aghanim's Tower as well. I don't think we found that one yet either.
Oh yeah, there's another chest here. Yeah, I'm definitely curious to see where these guys are gonna go next. They are kind of starting to exhaust all their possibilities.
Yeah, I'm curious to see when they're going to kind of go to their last resort and dip into Swamp Palace just to check that one chest.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna happen sooner or later. It's not where Gem wanted to go while Raspberryfloof is heading into the Vitreous fight. With Cape and the Butter Sword, it's not too bad.
Yeah, definitely not. And very nice fight from Raspberryfloof.
Gem finally heading into Misery Mire decides to also not give us a bird toss.
It looks like Framey is going to go and check the graveyard ledge. I believe can't remember what was quite up here.
I'm trying to remember, but I don't remember it either, so...
Cane of Burnout.
Right. That's what it was. There's that last odd small key for Gem that he doesn't really need anymore.
And Raspberryfloof finally making the play up to the Bumper Cave ledge. Is going to be very happy to find that bow.
Yeah, definitely something that you're happy to find. Might maybe make her feel a little bit behind, but I think she's making good time. I wouldn't even call her behind right now, to be honest.
Yeah, what she has left, I mean, it doesn't really take too much time. I mean, Mothula as well as Eastern Palace is really rather quick. So, and she does have Misery Mire up over Gem right now, so still really close race between the two.
Absolutely. Plus, I mean, as long as Gem is not going to go back to Swamp, or rather into Swamp for that first chest, Raspberryfloof will have that pod big key over him for quite a while.
Yeah, and just now picking up that ice rod, that may be very tempting to go finish off Turtle Rock at this point.
Mm-hmm. He could definitely do that, and it wouldn't be a bad choice at all for all he knows. The thing is, Raspberryfloof could head into pod at really any point and finish it up completely. And who knows what Helmosaur might be dropping.
Yeah, the Helmosaur item could be rather huge. I mean, we're still looking for a couple keys. We're still looking for that hook shot. And Furaime going to be checking out the Batcave. I believe this is our first check of this now. And just 20 rupees, so next piece of the puzzle, not at the Batcave.
Nope, that's not what we were looking for. I'm having a little trouble there with the block placement.
Alright, and Raspberryfloof is going to be heading over to Palace of Darkness to be able to finish that off. We'll get to see what Helmosaur has here very, very shortly.
Yeah, gonna be the first one.
Yeah, I do believe that Furaime is going to be heading back up toward the Turtle Rock area now. And Deo making really good use of the cape and butter sword here for Vitreous.
Yeah, no problem for Deo here. Gem needs to be a little bit careful, but I think he should have it. Yeah, looks good. We're also getting our first Spike Cave check from Furaime here, so let's see what we find in here. Misery Mire key. Don't want that one.
No, not at all. I saw that key and I was hoping for their sake it was the Swamp Palace small key.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a good chance they might happen upon that, and that would lead them right to where they need to go. But, maybe Furaime is heading there right now.
Yeah, that appears to be the case. So, Furaime will be getting their Palace of Darkness big key here very shortly.
And I think that's really gonna cement Furaime's lead for quite a bit, considering Deo still hasn't checked the bumper ledge to grab his bow, and then he needs to go into Swamp to grab that big key eventually.
Yeah, I would definitely say Furaime does have the edge over Dale in our top race. The bottom race is still rather close. So, I mean, looks like Gem may be going to maybe Turtle Rock now.
Yeah, probably wants to finish up Turtle Rock. Don't really blame him. It's a crystal, you might as well be done with it if you can. The dip into the Swamp Palace first chest it's just such a meme, really, that you don't want to do it if you don't have to.
And Deo is finally going up to grab their bow from the Bumper Cave ledge here. So all of our runners will have their bow here momentarily.
Yeah, goes exactly where he needed to go. That should put him right back on track.
Alright, so what will the King Helmosaur have here for us? And we'll also get to see what Trinex has here.
Yeah, I'm really curious. There's not too much left, and we're still looking for that hook shot. We're still looking for the Thieves Town big key. We're still looking for a couple of things. What do you do if the Helmosaur King now drops the Swamp Palace small key?
I mean, I would go into Swamp Palace. I mean, it is a, pendant dungeon. Oh, we don't have to worry about that right now, but it is a pendant dungeon. You have access to the entirety of it. We do already have the big key. Well, no, we don't have the hook shot yet, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to. There's really not too much left. I mean, it didn't happen, obviously, so it was just a hypothetical, but still. Alright, Day is heading back into pod, or into pod for the first time, though. I think he's heading back, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be heading back into Palace of Darkness. We'll also, well, no, they don't have they do have their mirror. Okay, they'll be able to use their mirror to mirror out to Eastern Palace and clean that up as well.
Did I just see the big key to Thieves Town in pod big chests? Yeah, I did. So Raspberryfloof picking up that big key to Thieves Town and that big chest in pod. That means that's a pretty good progression item there, and that's something that's locked behind that really stupid first chest and swamp.
Yeah, that's interesting place for that. Yeah, just the bug net from Trinex. So at this point, I think it's pretty safe to say Thieves Town is going to be holding our next piece of progression.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. We've got a small key, we've got the big key, we've got a hammer, we've got everything we need to finish it off and clear it out.
Ooh, and Gem trying to hover here in Hookshot Cave. Got a little bit there, but not quite.
Oh, poor Gem. I appreciate him for trying, though.
Oh yeah, that's no easy feat. And Deo showing us almost showing us the quick kill there. I need to stop talking.
Cursing all the Armos fights. So after this, where are you heading, Gem?
And I think Gem may be heading down to check that first chest in Swamp now. And meanwhile, Raspberryfloof takes down the Armos Knights, grabs their next crystal.
Yeah, while Furaime is making their way through Thieves Town. That's going to be the second to last crystal as well.
And the last crystal will be in Turtle Rock, so I think at this point, Furaime is in go mode.
Yeah, very true. Well, we do technically need the hookshot to get over the Moldorm 2K thingy.
Huh? True.
We could hover it, but I'm not sure if our runners are really capable of hovering that. Alright, Peachtown, what else do they have for us? Well, Raspberryfloof also making their way through Thieves Town.
Yep, just looking for the hookshot now. Not in the big chest. Let's see what Blind has.
Plenty of hearts, really. And a butter sword, even though it makes no difference on blind. But this shouldn't be a problem at all.
No, not at all. Especially having sword beams there for backup in case things go off the rails here. And that is Blind down. Let's see what we got. And it is a small key to Turtle Rock.
Oh, man.
So where is the hookshot? Can it be in Ganon's tower now?
I'm thinking it's at Fan Fairy. Because now with Thieves Town done, that is now open to us. I might be wrong, and it could be in GT. Could also be in Swamp. So we might get a small key from the Pyramid Fairy, and then we have to go to Swamp.
Oh, that would just be evil. And Gem taking down Helmelsaur, making him look really easy there.
Yeah, with the Butter Sword, all these bosses are just really not that much of a challenge anymore. Raspberryfloof finishing off Blind here in Thieves Town, grabbing her small key to Turtle Rock. They were just beginning his fight with Trinex, but with the Butter Sword again. These heads die so fast, almost a zero cycle.
And there's our silver arrows in the pyramid. So vanilla silvers.
Yeah, vanilla silvers. Not something you're sad about, but definitely not what Furaime was hoping for.
Meanwhile, Gem picks up their big key to Thief's Town, and Raspberryfloof is about ready to go and get their big bomb to take to the pyramid to get their silvers.
Yeah, this is kind of railroading them towards the silvers, I guess.
Yeah, it really is.
The thing is, there's still a couple of trolley locations left, like a Skullwoods big chest, or the Tower of Hera basement.
Yeah, actually, we still haven't found the Tower of Hera key yet, have we?
I don't think so. And for all we know, that's all stuff that could be in Ganon's tower.
And for JTN's sake, we still have the option of the Master Shovel. That could lead to something.
It could. We would still need the hookshot for that, so I'm not sure that even if it was a Master Shovel, we would ever get to see it.
True.
But there's potential. We'll find out in the credits at the latest.
And it looks like Deo is going to be heading up towards Catfish now. Hasn't made that check yet.
Yeah, Furaime decided to go back for that one chest that he skipped here earlier.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I mean, all they're looking for now is a hookshot, and hookshot could have very well been in that chest.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so we're gonna have our left side here finishing up their search for the crystals at roughly the same time, I'd say. I think Gem is probably gonna be ahead by a little bit.
Yeah, Jim may be ahead by a little bit, but still has to climb Death Mountain, where Raspberryfloof will be up here already. So it's going to be really close. It's really interesting to see how close this is once all said and done.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have Deo about ready to go and check the first chest in Swamp Palace, and is going to grab their big key to Palace of Darkness. Very clean blind fight from Gem.
Very nicely done. Grabs the TR small key that he doesn't really need, and his last crystal, more importantly. Probably gonna be making his way straight up to Ganon's tower, I'd be guessing.
And it looks like what Gem is going to do. So once again, this is going to be really close. Raspberryfloof is really close to being able to go and finish off Trinex here. I mean, their Ganon's Tower entries will be probably seconds apart here.
Yeah, it really shouldn't be all that much of a difference. And it's going to be interesting to see what the right side of GT holds for us. If we do find the hookshot, we can just immediately finish everything up pretty much. The thing is, if we don't find the hookshot immediately, but find a bunch of trolley keys, we might have to leave Ganon's Tower again and search a bunch of out-of-the-way stuff.
Alright, and here's a moment of truth. Furaime going to show us Ganon's Tower first here. Let's see if the hookshot's in here or if they get sent on a wild goose chase with that swamp small key or the small key to Aghanim's Tower or even the book. Or the shovel.
There's definitely a couple of terrible things left for them. Gem right behind Furaime. Raspberryfloof grabbing her last crystal just as Gem is opening up Ganon's Tower. So he's ahead by, I guess, about 30 seconds maybe. Oh, Gem is heading straight upwards.
Oh, we may get to see a hover from Gem.
If he does decide to hover, he will definitely have an advantage, I'd say. I'm not sure if Raspberryfloof can hover or wants to try to hover, or if she's gonna hope to find the hookshot in here somewhere.
And there's the small key to Swamp Palace. Oh, jeez.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they did find the Aghanim's Tower small key as well.
Yeah, finding all those trolley keys that I was talking about. If Gem can pull off the hover, he is definitely gonna have a huge advantage over these guys.
And Raspberryfloof giving us the tile room check here.
Oh, that's an interesting choice.
Meanwhile, Furaime not really finding anything yet.
Very nice land mode 2 fight here from Gem.
Yeah, very well done. And just a piece of heart in the tile room.
Keep in mind that if these guys happen to find the hookshot here in GT, it might put Gem at a distinct disadvantage that he actually ended up trying this.
Yeah, I mean, if Gem does have the any problems hovering this, then you know, could see a shift in the lead here if the hookshot is indeed here.
Here's the Tower of Hera small key. Gem is opening a couple of chests on his way here, probably also hoping to find the hookshot. He might also just be gambling on the fact that the hookshot might be here. It is not, though.
All right, so it looks like we will be seeing the hover attempts. There's a
Key of
Skullwoods big
Skullwoods.
key and a
And
shovel.
the shovel. Oh man. Now everything that is horrible is open to these guys. Gem sadly failing on his first attempt, however, here. Does have his powder out, so he has plenty of tries with all the anti-fairies down there. Oh, he
so
almost made.
close.
Come
Just got to
on,
go a
Gem.
little bit farther.
Yeah, that was almost there. Just a little bit. Oh, he's
And we
got
got
it!
it.
Very nicely done here. That is a huge lead, especially since we already know that the hookshot is not in Ganon's tower, so he's saving a ton of time by doing this.
All right, and now the rest of our runners are on the hunt for the hookshot.
Yep, we're going to be seeing all those one item locations that they left behind and that they now found the keys to.
So
At least...
if
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so once if Raimi doesn't find the hookshot here in Harrop Basement, would you go to Swamp Palace next because of all the item locations that are there?
Swamp is such a long dungeon and such an annoying dungeon, but the item density there will probably send me there, because you can just leave as soon as you find it. Alright, so at 1 hour 49, Gem is falling into the hole to Ganon. Sub 2 hours in Keysanity, that is a feat that not a lot of people can claim for themselves.
Yeah, sub 2 hours is very impressive for a Keysanity seed. Alright, so Tower Hero Basement was not the hookshot location.
Nope. Looks like we're checking the Skullwoods big chest first. Meanwhile, Deo is finishing up a Thieves Town here. Only his pod left afterwards, as far as he knows anyways. And then we'll probably also be dipping into GT and find out that he'll be needing the hookshot from one of these locations. Gem also never picked up a silver arrow, so on top of everything else, we're seeing a silverless Ganon, but with a butter sword, not really too much of a problem.
Nah, not at all. Just takes 12 spins and Ganon will be dead. And GG there for Gem. Very good Ganon fight.
Yeah, GG to him. Great Ganon fight on top of finishing up here without having to do this horrible search for the hookshot.
Yeah, and Gem does finish up this race with an official SRL time of 1 hour 51 minutes and 2 seconds. That is a PB by over 7 minutes for Gem. GG.
Meanwhile, Furaime was right with that Swamp Skullwoods big chest, found the hookshot, so they can finally finish up Ganon's tower. Gem will be joining us for an interview here shortly.
Yeah, and we'll get to see Furaime make use of those silver arrows here on Ganon.
Now looks like Gem is in here, so I'm gonna be dragging him in a second.
Dude, I was...
Sorry to be stealing you away from our friend there, but GG, man. I hope you feel dirty, you cheater.
I am a filthy cheater, and I'm proud.
You don't even know the extent of it, man. You had to find the Skullwoods big key in Ganon's tower, and then go back out to get the hookshot from there.
Oh man.
And you also got the Swamp Palace small key and a bunch of other keys in there. You know, like all the missing locations that you guys couldn't check before. You found all the keys in Ganon's tower.
Oh man.
So yeah, you saved, I don't know, a good, depending on where you go, a good 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, 5 to 15, I guess.
Yeah, probably. I think a full clear of GT basement is like 5 minutes at least. And then you gotta make the right call of going to Skullwoods. Yeah, that saved a ton of time.
Yeah, a ton of time. But yeah, anything else other than your dirty cheating that sticks out in the seed for you?
I don't know, like really early item go mode, but then you had to search for the keys.
Yeah, as is often the case with the Keysanity, I guess.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and that Palace of Darkness big key was probably my favorite location for it now.
That sucked. But that was still, I liked that still more than it being in the Ice Palace big chest. Because I figured a lot of people probably went to that mountain before Ice Palace, so that would have sucked.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think the only trolly thing, or the trolliest thing, was definitely the hookshot here.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
right on second place is that pod big key in the first chest of Swamp, because that's just ugly.
Yeah, anything in Swamp is ugly, but that one is especially dirty.
Alright, so now you're up 1-0 in the tournament so far. Have you checked out who else is 1-0, who you might potentially be getting later on, how it's gonna progress for you?
To be honest, I haven't looked, because there's gonna be like 100 people that are gonna be 1-0, so...
Yeah, it's true. It's not really worth it this early on, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think after the first 2 weeks, I think we'll get a pretty good picture as to you know, where the talent lies within this tournament.
Yeah.
So, to quickly give an update here, we have Furaime climbing Ganon's tower a second time, now almost at the Aga 2 fight. Meanwhile, Raspberryfloof made the unfortunate decision to check out Swamp Palace instead of heading back to Skullwood, so she'll be looking for that hookshot for quite a while longer, unfortunately. She was, you guys were really close, and I'd say she was probably a little bit ahead for a while, because she made that play into Swamp to grab that big key a lot earlier than you did, obviously.
Yeah, and when you guys entered into Ganon's tower, I want to say she was maybe 30 seconds behind at that point entering from when you did.
Oh, alright. Yeah, it was pretty close.
Yeah, it definitely was close, but, you know, then you cheated, and it wasn't close anymore.
Yeah, that filthy hovering.
Oh, I feel bad.
Yeah, you better feel bad. I don't want to see that again from you in this tournament, okay?
Man, I've been waiting for this for so long.
Yeah, someone, I think it was Ak who said in chat, you've been waiting for this your whole life.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I started practicing hovering like pretty much at the start of the last tournament, And I still hadn't gotten a seed that you could hover Moldom to until today. So yeah, I was pretty happy.
Yeah, and it definitely paid off. Like, if it's worth it in any seed, it was this one.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, so Day now figuring out that the hookshot is not in Ganon's tower. He's gonna be killing Moldon too, maybe? No, he's mirroring out. He's not quite sure where to go. Furaime finishing up again and fight almost in the last phase. And Raspberry is currently clearing out your favorite part of the game, Jim.
Oh no.
Oh, one more chest to go. Hookshot less left side of swamp. That's even worse than left side of swamp normally.
It's the worst, yeah.
And just a map to Tower of Hera, so hopefully she'll make her way towards Skullwoods now.
Yeah, and with that, Furaime does finish first place in their race with an official ethereal time of 1 hour, 58 minutes, and 22 seconds.
GG to Furaime. Also very nicely done, quickly making that decision to check that Skullwoods big chest before dipping into swamp and all the items in there. Dale now checking the rest of Ganon's tower in the hopes of finding that elusive hookshot.
And Raspberryfloof is going to be heading into Skullwoods. Should be finding their hookshot here very shortly.
Oh man, it looks like Dale was also deciding to go in the swamp first. There's a hookshot for Raspberryfloof. Gonna be happy about that. Oh no, mirroring back to the little drop hole. Gonna save and quit up to the mountain and make their way back to the Ganon Tower and finish up here shortly. Gale, meanwhile, sadly making their play into swamp. Gonna be wasting some time in here.
Raspberryfloof should be entering Ganon's tower here very shortly. Gonna hop in the portal here above Turtle Rock and clean up this seed here the next few minutes.
Yep, not gonna be long at all anymore. Looks like we had a key on the pedestal. A key to what? I can't say.
Yeah, at this point, I'm kind of glad we didn't find the book. That would have been eating me up the entire time if I had got to do a pedestal check.
Are you happy with your item collection rate, Gem?
Yeah, it's pretty godly.
Oh man, okay. What do you think your chances are for the whole tournament? I mean, you won the entrance shuffle tournament. You did pretty darn well in the last open tournament, as far as I remember.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I haven't done too many Keysanity, so I kind of don't have the experience. But yeah, we'll see.
All right, fair enough.
And speaking of Keysanity, what's your opinion on the game mode in comparison to say something like the normal mode or like entrance shuffle? What are your thoughts on Keysanity?
I don't know. I think I like open a bit more. Like Keysanity is also very fun, but I don't know. I just like keys being in their usual places.
Very clean Landmolus fight from Raspberryfloof.
Alright, Deo is checking out left side of swamp now. Not gonna find anything here. Grabs a heart container. Gonna be finding a map soon. And then probably gonna be making their way to Argus. Might even see a blind pedestal pull.
Or he can go to Argus without the hookshot.
Oh yeah, that's right, he can. Oh, man, I keep forgetting these guys are looking for the hookshot.
Yeah, it looks like Deo is going to be checking the dark portion of Escape here, still looking for that hook shot.
Yeah, meanwhile, Raspberryfloof here trying to hunt down Trolldorm. There he goes.
Yeah, just a big 20 in the Moldorm 2 chest. So on to Aghanim 2 for Raspberryfloof.
This room can be so annoying. If you don't immediately manage to dash upwards, it's really weird.
Yeah, it's extremely annoying without the boots.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let's say invincibility items are your friend if you don't have the boots.
The blue ball.
Ooh, unfortunately knocks Aghanim into the wall, which canceled whichever ball they were going to throw at them. And there we have it, Aghanim 2 down. Ganon is all that remains for Raspberryfloof.
Yeah, it should be absolutely no problem. Silver arrows, butter sword, red mail. I think still a red potion or something in a bottle somewhere if everything goes wrong.
Yeah, meanwhile, Deo is going back in to check the, what I would guess would be the big chest of Thieves Town here.
Yeah, apparently he skipped another location as well. His little counter up there says 6 out of 8, and I'm trying to think what else he might have skipped.
Oh, did he skip the top chest up here?
Maybe, yeah, apparently.
That's not a typical chest that you see that's skipped. It's says you gotta go in there and bomb the floor right away.
Yeah, interesting choice to skip that. I'm not sure if it was on purpose, but good on him for remembering. Meanwhile, Raspberryfloof about to head into the last phase of the Ganon fight.
And that is Ganon down for Raspberryfloof.
Yeah, GG to her. Very well played the seed. As we were saying earlier, barely about 30 seconds apart heading into GT the first time. Just made the unfortunate decision to check out Swamp, which, you know, with the item density there, not a bad decision at all. Just the hookshot wasn't there.
Yeah. But with that, Raspberryfloof does finish with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 9 minutes, and 12 seconds, which is an improvement of their personal best by 10 minutes and 36 seconds. Very good race there.
Yeah, very well done by her. Meanwhile, Deo is heading back up Death Mountain. I'm thinking he's checking, or maybe he wants to check the Hera basement. He does not have the small key, but I'm not sure what else he could want up here. Did he leave anything in Turtle Rock? I don't think so.
Yeah, and Deo was so close when he was right there in Thieves Town. But we will be joined by Raspberryfloof here momentarily. They're just getting their mic set up, so once they get all that taken care of, we will be getting them in here for an interview.
Looks like Deo is heading to that last chest that he left behind here. Probably also the vanilla big key chest. Will be pretty disappointed with what he finds.
Yeah, I think Deo skipped the. Yeah, they did skip the vanilla big key chest in Turtle Rock.
The thing is, as Dude pointed out in chat, he sadly didn't finish up GT enough to grab the Skull Woods big key from behind Ice Armos. So before he can even do anything, he'll need to finish up Ice Armos. I hope he is aware that he can get to Ice Armos from the right side of GT. Because I think that's what maybe might be holding him back from having done it in the first place.
Yeah, it's really easy to forget about being able to go full right side over to the Ice Armos. If you aren't familiar with routing that way or never really been that way, it's a really easy thing to forget and not realize that you can do.
Yeah, it's just not something that really comes up a whole lot. Alright, it looks like the Raspberryfloof is ready here, so give me a second. Hey Raspberryfloof, GG.
Hello, GG's.
GG.
Yeah, that was a very close race between you and Jem going into Ganon's tower. Unfortunately, Jem hovered Muldorum too, which gave him a pretty big lead.
I wondered if somebody would do that.
Yeah, sorry.
He's a dirty cheater. We already established that. But as we also said, if it was worth it anywhere, it was this seed. You guys were barely about 30 seconds apart heading into GT the first time. Unfortunately, Furaime finished before you, even though you weren't directly racing him, because he immediately went to the Skullwoods big chest. You made the unfortunate but definitely not wrong decision to go in the swamp first, and obviously, as you found out, sadly, it was empty, pretty much.
Yep.
But you played amazingly well, I thought, and as we said, it was super, super close. If Jem wasn't cheating, I think it would have been even closer.
Yeah, so just want to get your thoughts on the seed that you raced today.
It felt pretty straightforward, actually. There were a lot of places that, like, it felt like there was only one possible place you could go. It kind of unlocked a lot after I found the bow, though, because that kind of just went, go finish pod in Eastern, then get everything you need for Thieves Town, get everything you need for Turtle Rock. It turned out pretty well. And honestly, I thought I would be a lot farther behind than I ended up being because I made so many silly mistakes.
All right, and meanwhile, we do have Deo trying to figure out what they may have missed. Maybe heading back up to Ganon's tower now. They're on Death Mountain. Yeah, once again, the race here, I mean, it was very well done between really everybody here. I mean, like I said, your race between you and Jem was really close going into Ganon's tower. It was a nail biter.
Also, because chat is currently talking about it, Raspberry, you were, I think, the first person to pick up that pod big key in the first chest of Swamp.
I got lucky there. I went into the swamp and forgot that I didn't have the small key. So I'm like, oh, well, I'll just get the first chest and leave and go do something else. And it turned out to be actually important.
Yeah, it was really important, and as I said, you were definitely the first one to make that play, and it turned out pretty well.
And to answer the question here in chat, there is going to be another race coming up after this one on Speed Gaming. Looks like. Let me take a peek here. Yeah, we do have at 6 o'clock. We have it's another quad race here. We have Fox Zero versus Ack the Boker and John Rossum's versus Cero X. So that'll be coming up here in just about a half an hour. And we do have Deo checking out the tile room here. Hopefully they remember to continue on going to the right side.
Yeah, hopefully so. After this, that's really the only choice they have left. Also putting into effect the nice little trick that if you're holding onto a wall, the magic cape will not drain your magic.
And Deo gonna mirror out.
Oh no.
Guess they don't realize you can go full right to Ice Armos.
Yeah, definitely looks like it. I hope he doesn't, well, he can't even get to Swamp Palace and grab that last pendant, so he either needs to remember that or he's gonna start rechecking places that he has been to before. He's going back to the right side. Maybe it's stoning on him.
Yeah, there we go. Looks like we're on the right path now.
Oh no.
Once again, I just need to stop talking. I think I cursed just about everybody with the Armos Knights fight. But Deo about ready to go back and take another shot at it.
Yeah, and as Furaime is pointing out, he did skip the Aga Tower small key on the torch. Oh, and gets grabbed again.
All right, Deo, third time's the charm. You can do it, buddy.
Alright, making his way through this torch room here. Let's hope he can get those lit. Yeah, looks good. And he's through.
All right, so Deo is on their way, hopefully to get their big key for Skull Woods.
Yeah, just has to continue on his way here, hopefully remembering that he can get to Ice Armos.
Yep, it looks like that's what we are going to get a chance to see here.
Yeah, looking good so far. Oh, needs to hurry up a little bit. Oh no.
It just needs to reset the room here.
Makes it through, okay. There we go.
And we are back on track for Deo now.
Alright, we're looking good.
And there we have it. So, gonna be down to the Ice Armos, and we'll be seeing that Skullwood's big key.
Yeah, the Tower of Hera basement also just opened up for him, so hopefully he doesn't go there first, even though it will be a pretty quick check, so it won't be a whole lot of wasted time.
Yeah, if I was in Deo's shoes, I would check that first. It's really quick check once you exit Ganon's tower here.
Yeah, just as a mirror, basically. And the shovel.
Alright, thanks for having me. I'm gonna leave now. So, thank you guys for commentating. GG Raspberry.
GG, thanks for racing.
Yeah, thanks for racing. Yeah, see ya. Bye.
Yeah, thanks for racing in GG again. Good luck on the rest of the tournament.
Thanks.
Alright, so Deo probably gonna be heading into the Tower of Hera right now. Yep, gonna be checking out that basement.
No. I'll also be curious to see what Deo will do after this, if we'll go and check the shovel spot first or the Skullwood's key.
Yeah, those are really his two last options, aren't they? Imagine if
this-
he finds the book at the shovel spot.
Oh, that would be... Oh.
Because at this point I'm really not sure where else the book could be. We found pretty much everything else, save for the blue boomerang. Might also be the book here, to be fair. Oh, just a map of Pod. Oh yeah, as Chad is pointing out, the book could also be in the back of Swamp, which we might never see. Oh, he's heading back into Ganon's tower for some reason.
Well, we will get a chance to see here what Deo is going to decide to do here. Without that hookshot, the only way that we can progress into Ganon's tower is if Deo knows how to hover. Once again, not too familiar with Deo, so we'll see if they can do it.
Yeah, I'm curious. Maybe he thinks he forgot a chest here or something. I'm not quite sure why he's climbing back up here, but he probably has some sort of plan. I'm sure he hasn't forgotten about the Skullwood's big key that he's gotten behind Ice Armos. And he also got that shovel, so I'm kind of surprised that he had decided to go back in here instead of checking one of those 2 spots. Heading into that Lamolus 2 fight a second time. Nicely done.
Yeah, very good fight there. Alright, we are headed up to the last portion of the gauntlet here before Moldorm 2. Once again, I'm really curious to see what Deo is gonna do here.
Yeah, me as well. I'm a little bit stumped, to be honest. Well, I'm curious to see where he goes with this, or if he mirrors back out once he sees that he's checked all the chests that he could possibly check. Maybe he... I'm really not sure.
Alright, well here is the moment of truth. Let's see what we got here. So he's gonna try a bomb jump. I'm not sure you can bomb jump over that gap.
No, unfortunately, you cannot bomb jump that gap. Maybe he thinks that's the way to progress, and that the hookshot is in that Moldorm 2 chest.
Alright, and unfortunately with that, we did get a forfeit from Deo. You know, regardless, GG to Deo. Really unfortunate that they did not find the hook shot, but looks like we'll be getting Deo in here for an interview. So bear with us one moment and we'll get them in here.
Hello there, Deo, and GG.
Hey. Yeah. Where was the hook shot?
In Skullwood's big chest.
Okay. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was just... that he trolled you hard there at the end.
Yeah. I don't even know, because I got all the way up to the top and just kind of forgot that I needed the hook shot, but I felt I checked everywhere. Just forgot that.
Yeah, it happens. It was really the reason Gem finished so early is because he hovered the Troll Dome 2 gap, so he finished way earlier than anyone else. And then Furaime finished in second place, quote unquote, but won your race because they almost immediately, after full clearing all they could in GT, they almost immediately went to Skullwood's big chest and grabbed their hookshot, and so they only lost about 5 to 10 minutes, maybe.
Okay, I got the Swamp Palace small key and then I remembered I had forgotten Thieves Town, so I just was thinking about those. I had completely forgotten about Skullwoods.
Yeah, GT just gave you all the keys to these like single weird locations that you couldn't get to before because you didn't have the keys, and then also Swamp Palace, which just from an item density standpoint is your best choice at this point.
That's true. I forgot to even check the swamp, but yeah, you're right. Forgot about that. I did that as well. So. Well, it was pretty fun up until that point.
Yeah, you did really great. You know, going all the way up there to the end. I mean, it was a really good race between you and Furaime. So.
Yeah, I just gotta do a better job trying to keep track of, because like I also messed up. When I got the bow, I was thinking, oh, we're good to go, and I forgot I needed the Thieves Town big key and the Palace of Darkness big key. So I should have checked a couple other locations at the same time then. And yeah, that was another thing. Just got to pay more attention to my keys, I guess.
Yeah, but you definitely played very well, as Eco said. It was very, very close up until almost GT, I'd say.
Good to hear. Yeah, thanks for having me, though. Hopefully, I didn't drive people too crazy, but it happens.
Oh no, it was a blast to commentate, and it was really great getting to you know, commentate your race here. So.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for racing, and good luck in the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
All right, and with that, I think we are going to go ahead and get everything wrapped up here. Now, we do have another race that's going to be right here on Speed Gaming here within the next about 15 minutes here at 6 o'clock. So stick around for that. Durfee, I'm going to go ahead and leave you with our final words for tonight. I'm going to get on out of here. So onward with you.
All right, well, thanks again to all the 4 racers here, Furaime, daotmb, Gem, and of course Raspberryfloof. It's not an easy task to be featured in front of a couple hundred or maybe 1,000 people and show how good you are at this game. Thanks, of course, to Fiesel, our restreamer. Without him, this wouldn't be possible. Thanks again to Dude and JTN2002 for tracking this race and keeping track of all the items and keys. And last but not least, of course, thanks to my co-commentator, the Ecos. It was a pleasure and a lot of fun. And I think that's going to be it from us for now. So I hope you guys have a great night.